Happy Comic Book Day and welcome back, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast, HQ for all things comic book connected. We are John and Charlie Rivera, co-founders of US Comics, smashing that fourth wall like this was a home remodeling show. Charlie, happy Comic Book Day.
Happy Comic Book Day to you and to everyone listening and watching today. As always, we are brought to you by Bad Mary Band and Sergeant Finesse Gaming. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and or follow button and hit that comment section like it owes you money. Johnny boy, what's the haps?
Well, I'm deaf, but above and beyond that, just straight chilling, man. We are in full Halloween swing up on the Jersey side of the river from you. There's news dropping all over town. Walter Hamada is out over at DC, and I do want to give almost an immediate shout out. The good folks over at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash live show, their live show today. Mike Zapsik, if you're nasty, he called this. He was putting his resume out into the world, and the world, the universe has responded because Walter's like, oh shit, Zapsik wants my job. Bye.
Literally, it like came off the printer.
Yeah. It was like Marty McFly's fax firing. Like, you're fired! Except it was like reverse racism because it was Hamada that was fired and not Michael J. Fox. But
which is somehow in this environment, it's worse.
Yeah,
that is worse.
It's worse. No, I don't would say it's worse. I would say it
evens out.
Yeah.
It evens out. You
evens
can't
out the racism.
You can't trust me though, man. My back is killing me because not only is my special guest today the beautiful Audrey 3, we are in full spooky season.
Yes,
the Long Island Ghostbusters in association with the Empire State Elite. We have our big Halloween event starting this Friday and Saturday. So spooky walk at Camp Pequoddick. So I've been kind of gearing up, doing my stretches, and it's not enough. It's like I'm fucking... It's like I think I'm auditioning for Creed 3. I'm like, why am I wearing this just out and about my regular life?
If it's like a family thing, but because my back is also absolutely killing me, but that's mostly just from carrying this show. Joker's jumping in right away in the comment section. It is a great day. Naturally, a DC supervillain is happy about them losing their head cat. Joker, thanks for joining us over from Twitch. Ella's jumping in. It's Christmas season. Lacey Chabert movies on Hallmark start this week. Ellis,
I saw that commercial. Lost my mind.
Ellis, you've been watching these Lacey Chabert Christmas movies since Labor Day. But yes, for the rest of us, it is indeed... it is rapidly approaching. If you walk into any big box store, they absolutely are on Ellis's side because they are fully decorated for Christmas. Like, fuck your candy, son.
Say what you will about Lacey Chabert and God knows no one respects her like I respect her. However, Joker, you will show respect about the potential for Birds of Prey 2, The Fabulous Destruction of DC, which so far is winning the Comment of the Night contest. Not that there's been a lot, but I like to declare winners early and often because just this week, the actor who played Huntress was a deep conversation between my brother and I that will stay private.
Yeah.
But just know, if that movie happened, I'd be first fucking online because I support what I love.
First to take his pants off. Completely inappropriate. But that all being said, Charlie would indeed be tearing out of his pants as if he had been radiated with gamma blood injected into him because of a car accident. That's what we're going for. So She-Hulk has wrapped her run. We're not really sure about a second season as of yet. Neither is she. I hear she's pitching Charlie Cox. She's like, yo, let me get in on that little Daredevil Reborn, son.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to me, and I did realize, yes, the Hulk season finale, damn straight, Ellis. We do not make the distinctions here.
I'm glad that Hulk had a cameo.
So it's very interesting. I was watching it, and it was a little bit for me. I'm just gonna launch right into this, Chucky. Boy.
Yeah.
For me, it was a little bit of. It's like I was side by side on cam, right? There was the John on one side, and then like other John on the other side. And regular John was just watching it. Other John was like, I wonder what people are gonna say about this and say about that. Once we've seen behind the fucking. But once we've found the man behind the fucking curtain, like the whole fucking great land of Oz is totally ruined for me because I honestly cannot watch anything comic book connected without having the thoughts of, well, people are going to say this is going to be received this way.
I see what
blah,
you're
blah,
saying.
blah. I cannot divorce myself from it, which is a little sad if I'm speaking
Yeah, that
honestly.
bums me out.
Yeah, it bums me out too.
Because I'm the opposite.
So I sit there like, damn it! Like, for the visual impaired, i.e., you're listening to this a week from now. I just made the sad faced, arms crossed, entertain me, I dare you. But the big, and I could be wrong about this, but my walk away from it, the big conversation talking point at the water cooler, is She-Hulk breaking the fourth wall. She's breaking the fourth wall. She's breaking the fourth wall. She's breaking the fourth wall. Put a comma on it. Explain to someone what the fourth wall is, and then she's breaking the fourth wall. She's breaking it. She's breaking it.
What about the ceiling and the floor? Are those the fifth and sixth walls?
So truly, for anyone who's out there, for like that 0.001% that doesn't know what the term breaking the fourth wall is, think of your TV like a diorama. Like you're in the Museum of Natural History and you're walking through the hallway of all the shit that Teddy Roosevelt killed. So that wall that's missing, that glass wall that you're seeing through, that's what's referred to as the fourth wall. Think of 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 3 that you see. The fourth one is what us as the watchers, the viewer, as the museum fucking attendee is looking through. Now imagine that the giant fucking saber-toothed tiger that's been stuffed since God knows when looks out back at you and starts licking its chops. You're like, oh shit, that saber-toothed son of a bitch just broke the fourth wall. That's what that term means. So then it's when the character addresses the audience, in essence acknowledging that what you're watching is a fiction, which I'm totally fine with. Again, Daredevil does it. People think, oh, Daredevil did it first. No. She-Hulk did it first. This is comic accurate
Deadpool,
shit.
you mean?
Deadpool, that's what did I say?
Daredevil. What he did first was bump uglies with everybody, as you should.
But,
Deadpool, Harley Quinn, notorious fourth wall breakers.
Well, yeah, it's by no means a unique fucking trope.
Oh, Ferris Bueller. Ellis brings up a good point. Ferris Bueller breaks the shit out of that.
I mean, again, that list is long. Most recently, maybe Fleabag. If anyone watched the new Indiana Jones, Fleabag did it constantly. Ferris Bueller, as Wolf of Wall Street does it, and that's something that's like totally unexpected because that's based on a true story. Fucking Fight Club does it, and like they do it so infrequently. Like, oh shit, I forgot that they even did that. So again, it's not a new trope necessarily, but she did it really consistently. And spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't already watched the finale.
Yeah, just hit mute for like 15 minutes.
It's half the fucking episode. It's like half the episode. I'm gonna take it right to you just in this aspect of it, Charlie.
Yeah.
How did you receive specifically her breaking of the fourth wall in this episode?
So the only time I'm able to fully enjoy things is while I'm watching it, because that collapsing of me then wondering what other people thinks happens the minute the credits start to roll. My brain switches to what do people think, what does John think, starts off the trend, but then it
Naturally,
becomes
the most important thought. What does John think?
You know what? Normally I would fight that, but no, that's kind of how my brain works. Explains all sorts of reasons why I'm a fucking mess. But The only time I'm able to enjoy something
if
is
only, Paul, if only. Imagine we just like dip out of the screen right now. We're like, hey, what you guys having for dinner?
just pop up in each other's sets.
Yeah. Let me get it.
Yeah. So when I cannot overstate this. When she asks if the finale was working for everybody, I was so self-centered at that moment. I was like, not particularly. Why is I fully took the bait, and I was like, oh shit, it's really just gonna end with like an obnoxious CGI fight.
Because Charlie like constantly is rewriting stuff. He's like, well, what I would do is, she's like, shut up.
Then I legitimately thought the app crashed. So, like, I was hook, line, and sinker when it went to the menu.
Gomer.
So then I knew it was... Now, this is where you know I'm a fucking nerd. I know the Disney page as it currently sits because of Endor and She-Hulk making up a big portion of my happiness. So I went, oh... And I literally got, when I tell you... I was
like, I never watched the making ofs.
My pants got significantly tighter because I went, they are not fucking going for it. Like, she's not about to cut me down for what I do or do not watch. She's not going to make fun of Pinocchio. And then she burst through the fucking panel, John. Yeah. And I went from fucking midnight to ultra midnight because I went from full hard to ultra erect, and everything that happened in those final
3 inches to 3.5 inches. You're saying
wide, 3 to 3.5. Wow. Still not that particularly impressive. I fucking loved it. I was all in. Every joke worked. If the show had aspects about it I didn't like leading up to that, I can't remember them now because it was such a perfect She-Hulkian ending. I celebrated like I fucking scored a field goal in the hockey match. Okay. I was so fucking happy.
All right. Well,
I loved it.
That's absolutely one take. Let me go ahead and tell you the correct take.
No.
I didn't love it quite so much. I didn't dislove it.
I didn't dislove it.
I did like it. And,
Copyright, USComics.
You're right in the sense that she took what had been. She took it to another level, right? She broke the fourth wall. She broke the fucking fifth and the sixth wall. While she broke the roof, and she fucking started a flood in the basement. She absolutely took it to a new level, which. I agree with you. I did adore. I really appreciated how they said, you know what, we've been doing this. We've been kind of like slow dripping this, slow burning this all season long. Now let's really give it to them. And I appreciated the take. I'm like, oh well, this is dumb and that's dumb. That's not cool. This is my show. I was in for all of that. What I didn't go for.
That she brought up some good points?
Nope, not at all. Because those are all points that we've talked about here. Like, the funny thing is, like, we would be sitting on the same fucking desk, the same table in the courtroom, arguing those points as she did. I didn't disagree with a single point or a single little shot that the showrunners took at Marvel itself. I appreciated that more than most. I'm like, fuck. Well,
that's because we also have daddy issues.
Well, not so much daddy issues, but you're like calling something out for what it is, right?
Yeah.
And Dad would never have done any of those shits. No. Where I took umbrage is Charlie. We talked about, and by we I mean me. We talked about breaking the fourth wall, right? So if you broke the fourth wall in Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford will look out and be like, and you're like, Harrison, what the fuck are you saying? I love you, but I don't understand you. But you can rest assured what he would be talking about would be something along the lines of, hey, you spilled your fucking popcorn. Hey, don't drink that drink, Sarge. That's John's drink. Sergeant Finesse infamously stole my drink in the middle of a movie. I'm like, yo, that's my drink. Yo, that's my drink. He just drank that shit up. Fucking Sarge. God damn it.
I can't believe he ruined Magic Mike 2 for you.
Yeah, I know. And I was right there, too. I was almost finished. But that being said, Charlie, when characters break the fourth wall, they're addressing the real world. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So it's their world that they're in. They break the fourth wall. And where are they now? They're in
Our
your world. And Jennifer did that multiple fucking times. Is this working for you? Famously got Charlie a little chubbed up. Great. What she did then was something different. And I'm not entirely sure what it was. She wasn't really breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, she showed up on the loading screen. That's adorable. But the world that she ended up, Charlie?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Is this a real question?
This is the real thing that I wanted to talk about. Was this like a fucking Kang situation? Did Kang initially conquer She-Hulk's world? Because that world where a company called Marvel makes a show
has a robot named Kevin
She-Hulk, and that it streams on the Disney Plus network, and the big brain is a robot, basically looks like a Squiddy that didn't make the final cut of Matrix, called
Squiddy?
Kevin.
Kevin?
I get it. Yes, that's super adorable, but you've confused me.
Oh,
so where is that
that's
world?
So fascinating, because for me, I thought it was wonderful that this whole time she was breaking the fourth wall, and what I think was a magic trick that they did with Kevin, the supercomputer, just making Marvel shit. The reason I think it's a magic trick is the whole time she wasn't talking directly to us. She was talking to, within the multiverse, she's a character within. So we're watching the shit Kevin makes. I mean, but it's for me, I was an avid She-Hulk comic reader for a long time, because before the internet, you needed to, see hot women sometimes drawn and colored in green.
Right. And you were also 6.
Yes, and I was already rocking the same size heat I rock now. When she would break into the writer's room of the comic book, it was the same thing. It wasn't quite our world. In my head, it was always part of the multiverse.
No, I disagree. Fucking Daffy Duck did it better than anybody, than any superhero, Ferris Bueller, or fucking Wolf of Wall Street before. Daffy Duck, literally shitted on the fucking artist drawing his cartoon. And granted, they took some umbrage with that. They took his beak off. They fucking lit his ass on fire. Daffy Duck did it best.
I don't know how to tell you this, though, John. That wasn't like a documentary series. That artist did good art, and that was all planned and storyboarded. I think it's listen. I love it. I love anytime you and I diverge.
But it's a serious question. So is the answer that there is there is a level of the multiverse in which there's a show starring Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk, and is that what they were trying to tell me, Charlie? Explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I think so.
In a courtroom in Philadelphia. This is the lawyer show.
I think everything we see has been a production of Multiverse Universe 268.
So then does that mean Daredevil? So that's not the Daredevil that we're gonna see in Daredevil Reborn?
No, I think everything we've seen in Marvel. I think Kevin has crafted
that's right.
Has crafted the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe that we see. But our Kevin Feige okayed them writing a robot named Kevin.
No, you're
it's too deep. You
on
remember on
top of your hurt back, you're pulling muscles right.
Do you remember in
it's
Inception?
Nonsensical.
Do you remember in Inception when you have to go into
they're all dreaming right now?
Layer 2 of the dream? So Multiverse 1 is Kevin.
Ooh, Charlie, I got some bad news for you about Inception then too, because that
Can you tell me about
as well
the top?
as was some bullshit.
Can you tell me about the top? So
I'll tell you about the layers of Inception. The second you get off the fucking Tom Hardy level, the acting goes to crap because he's like the only good actor in that fucking movie. But Cousin Paul this is the comment of the night.
No
My
bullshit.
brain also hurts.
Paul's brain hurts because of you. Because
and Stan confirms it.
No one. First and first, mostly
Stan and Paul.
If anyone has seen this show, even one other episode, the show You and Me, USComics Cast, The fact that you and I diverge on this is newsworthy. Your friend circle that I consider vague acquaintances,
you're right, Joker. He was pretty good.
For me, it all boils down to this isn't something anyone but you thought of. You said in the pre-show that you were going to bring up something.
But now I've birthed it into the universe.
Yeah, and look, you upset all of our fucking friends. All of our friends are all sad and shit now.
Look, honestly, fucking Kevin should call me up and say, "Oh, thank you, John. We just got, for some reason, everybody just rewatched all those She-Hulk overnight, and I got to say thanks to you."
I gotta tell you, I think Ellis may have been recast because he is just dropping truth bombs and not just weird sass, which I love. But Ellis threw over on our Facebook chat, watch Escape from the Planet of the Apes. The doctor explains it like it's a picture of an artist painting a picture until the artist becomes one with the picture. John, it's very simple.
So I have seen...
Just gotta open your mind.
I have seen numerous paintings of a painting and...
But did Dr. Zayas paint any of them?
So, no, but
Dr.
again,
Dr. Zayas.
You've talked all around
Dr.
it.
Zayas.
I know, it's very funny. You've talked all around the actual question. So
no, I said multiverse.
So that's what you took away from it. You're like, okay, so what she dipped into, the fourth wall that she broke into, is a different layer, a multiverse layer in which she is starring in a show that's made by a company called Marvel and has a writer's room and blah blah. So then my follow-up question.
But she's Jen. She's not like an actress. She is Jen. Jen is She-Hulk.
Well, yeah, I mean Jerry Seinfeld was Jerry Seinfeld, but like the show was like it was him, but it wasn't really him. It was really fucking Larry David. Everybody knows that. So then I would the follow-up question to you, and then I'll let you run with what you had in mind. Would be, then where does that leave the characters that we've been introduced to?
Yeah.
Is that the actual fucking fucking offspring of Hulk that we saw?
Yeah.
Is that is that really the Daredevil that we're gonna get? So the characters that we were introduced to them, we were not introduced to them in the MCU proper.
No,
That's
we weren't.
My point.
They're all part of the MCU. The MCU got written by Kevin. So Kevin produced Thor, Love and Thunder.
Feige did.
No, Kevin Feige created the robot that created the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
But
it's very simple.
You do know that there's no robot. All right, so I've
seen it on TV. It has to be real.
I think we've put out there Charlie's refusing to fucking Charlie just proved that he's indeed a robot from Westworld. He's like, doesn't look like anything to me. Put him a partner. Bang, 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 bang. So anyway, I'll just put this out to all of the actual free thinkers out there. I want you guys to think about that finale of She-Hulk. Where the fuck what fourth wall did she break into? What does that do to the characters that we've been introduced to for the first time in that MCU, even though we've known them from prior? And what does that mean for those characters that are going to carry over? And where the fuck was Wong's new girlfriend? That's the real fucking question.
John, you know where she was. She was icing that back, son.
Your back hurts. Wong's back hurts. There's
for the same reasons.
Bit of correlation. But and anyway, so I had all these issues, kept me up at night. But Charlie,
not me. I watched it twice like this.
Just knocking shit over all over the place. Oh, the Sarge is here. What's up, Sergeant? Finesse.
I need to hire the ghost bouncers.
Sarge, were your ears ringing because you heard about you heard the story of you stealing my drink?
Drinkgate. I'll make it quick as our opening time comes to close. Do what you gotta do,
man. This is a good time.
My big takeaway was at the end of the day, She-Hulk was about one thing. It wasn't about multiverse. It wasn't about Kevin. Dare I even say, it wasn't even about Madison with a Y, but not where you think. John, it was about family, as the closing barbecue scene proved, because some complaints I read about She-Hulk were Daredevil, he's supposed to be a brooding guy. We discussed it last week because everyone who knows Daredevil as well as I know knows that's a layered motherfucker. He's like an onion. However, I love the idea of when we pick up with Daredevil, he has his little delicious green lawyer girlfriend. He got it all, and then you could take it all away. So what I'm excited about was further exploring Daredevil, almost guaranteeing She-Hulk will at least make a cameo
Like,
in
where are
his
his
show,
socks?
in my opinion.
Where are your socks,
I told
GD?
you, they got fucked off of him, son.
I know, but you go scoop them up. Come on,
No,
bro.
not when they're rocketing through the wall.
Jeez Louise.
Those
I just
grippy
imagine,
socks.
Like that fucking scene from The Grinch and the socks like just crawling across the fucking floor.
You know who always has his socks? Batman, because he's not a good leg. Daredevil loses socks left and right.
Wow.
He orders socks by the
Batman
crate.
is very judicious about what he eats, and we'll just leave it at that.
Listen, this is bullshit. Right now, I'm telling you, this is why I'm glad we go live.
Joker,
because
yes.
Joker,
The answer to that is yes. Yes.
Joker stream. How dare you? Listen, I know you have to handle your Joker stream business, right? Gotham needs to be burnt down. Batman needs to be
Twitch
inconvenienced.
isn't running itself.
But on last week's episode, I made it very clear, not only my theory, but the fact behind it. Matt Murdock and Jen made Whoopi. Then round 2, Daredevil and She-Hulk made pantsless Whoopi. The top of the suit, the mask, the helmet, he needs it. And then round 3 is once again Matt and Jen. It's very simple.
Jeez, Louis, Charlie is angry.
No,
like,
this is bullshit.
very, very, very irate over the coupling over here of the green and the mustard and the fucking ketchup. So sincerely though, like, what was your takeaway from the finale that you were like? So you're saying you also were thinking of what people would be thinking?
No, once it wrapped up, my brain immediately went to like, I wonder if this is going to be received well. Because my big takeaway was that was exactly the exact sort of series that I wanted out of She-Hulk, which is one that's true to the character, and almost in almost kind of spitting in the face of anyone's expectations. I think Marvel and I think comic book properties are at their best when they honor the character first. This is so similar to those early days of She-Hulk. That's undeniable. Like it, love it, or hate it. Because you have constantly on the show spoken about how there is no like good or bad. There's only what you like and what you don't like. This proved to me that I fundamentally disagree with that. Something's quality can't be argued. All that can be argued is whether or not you liked it. You're allowed to not like great shit. I don't like the ballet. Ballet is a masterful thing. It's magic. It's just not magic I give a fuck about. Right? But there's good ballets and bad ballets. If I start in a ballet, I'm going to fuck it up.
So I disagree, because Charlie starring in Swan Lake, if I'm in the audience, automatically is the greatest fucking Swan Lake I have ever seen in my life, and I've seen several. So
Touché.
I
I'm
respectfully
gonna go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put pencil to paper there. So you're saying just to sum up, just to kind of put it in a little bubble bag.
Bow.
So you liked it. It was
Loved
what
it.
you hoped for in terms of tone.
Yeah.
But the way that they went about that wasn't obvious to you. You didn't see like, I
didn't think that they would. I didn't think they would have the gamma.
I agree with. I agree with all that.
I didn't think they'd have the gamma radiated nards to go all in.
But you didn't take any issue with how they chose to break the fourth. Honestly, I'm taking umbrage with even calling that breaking the fourth wall. That's something else. I haven't
Shattering
decided
the universe.
it should be called something for sure, but I don't know. Like, honestly, fucking Matt should watch it, because at this point, I think She-Hulk has more in common with Kang than fucking old Honey Toad Daredevil, because she can just slip. Apparently, she can slip into any layer, any fucking layer of the multiverse, like she was America Chavez herself.
Well, she's the strongest, man. Strongest there is.
I mean, listen, there's gonna be a lot of fanboys gonna take umbrage with that comment. Yeah,
Come at me, bro.
I took issue with the
I live
fact
in Jersey.
You don't stop lying to people. With that, she clearly went someplace else. She wasn't in our reality, and she was no longer in her narrative's reality. She was in this third level all joking aside, she was someplace else. And if anyone listening or watching hasn't looked at it in that way or it didn't occur to them, do me a close personal favor. Just rewatch that last episode, even if you want to fast forward to that moment when she does something. She did something.
Can I just bring up one more option?
Of course you can.
Or fucking Kevin's a robot. There is no Kevin Feige. I don't know why you're being so like strict in your for a person who's a faith-based person.
0.00001%. But I guess that technically
I've been waiting for robots to take over for fucking years. I'm pro-robot.
I've been praying for it. Why do you think I'm polite to all of my fucking devices? I'm like, yes, please, and thank you. Constantly, they're like, enough, fucking dude. I'm just doing my job.
John shaves.
I'm agreeing with you.
John shaves the back of his hairline to allow that giant matrix needle to plug him the fuck back in. John's gonna eat electric steaks because they're not real meat.
Look, if anybody is out there and they're saying that Cypher was wrong, I don't want to eat digital steaks where there's no caloric issue, like fucking blood pressure isn't a problem, my retirement fund, I don't need to be keeping an eye on that. Charlie, they are one thing and one thing only. They are a goddamn liar, because when the robots take over, that's like permanent vacation for all of us. Just like George Lucas fucking knows. Why do you think he writes robots consistently, right, left, Monday through Friday? Because one thing and one thing only. Han shot first.
Put him up, Clinky.
Delicious.
You know it's good when you fucking sound like a bad Arnold impersonator. Oh, that drink was delicious.
So smooth.
John.
Yes. I'm right here. Stop yelling at me.
If you could go back in time at any point in your own timeline, but you had to set bad events good. So you're not baby you.
Eloquent as always.
You go. I just had a shot of vodka. How dare you? I'll kill you. Show canceled. If you were to go back in time and pick a show, to be rebooted in 2022, what show would you choose?
Man, I'm going to take a deep dive, like fucking Steve Zissou himself. I don't know if there's anybody out there who remembers the show Voyagers. Voyagers, starring the most famous accidental fucking shot in the head by a blank death in Hollywood until Brandon Lee himself, John Eric Hexlum. Voyagers was a show. It's gonna sound slightly familiar, but it was an older guy, and he traveled around through history on the show, and he set things that had gone wrong. He sets them right so that history can unfold the way it's supposed to. And he's got a little spunky sidekick, just a little dude with a giant fucking head of curly hair. Voyagers, check it out. It is outstanding.
Cool, I would love a reboot. I would much rather them reboot that than break my heart, because I want to talk to you about the Quantum Leap sequel reboot. I have never been. When did you learn about the new Quantum Leap? I've been fucking so out of touch. They filmed an entire Crow movie, and no one thought to consult me. And then like,
oh, give me the gun with the blanks. Fuck it.
Now they're just fucking dropping. Oh, gee, Charlie, you know how you watched every episode of Quantum Leap 5 times because that shit was constantly on the Sci-Fi Channel, and you love Scott Bakula?
Oh boy.
Well, we're gonna do a reboot, and I go, oh, that's kind of fucking dope. Like, you're gonna, like, if Scott Bakula, like, you don't want to do with him, you can't afford him, you're not gonna finish up that story, which is a fucking tragedy. Okay, but like what a fucking great concept. You travel in time, but only in your timeline. Because I'm so young, I'd only be able to travel back to 1985 because you have to exist, but you jump into someone else's fucking body. What an awesome sci-fi premise. You could jump into historical figures and famous celebrities and tell really interesting stories, man. Then I learned while watching the opening credits that this took place in the Bakula universe, the Bakaverse, as I call it. You're gonna be in the Bakaverse, but not secure. Scott, look at how handsome he still is.
Yeah, man. Scott Bakula is holding up like a champ.
Scott Bakula hasn't aged a month. And I'm pretty sure Quantum Leap stopped in 1942. That show stopped fucking airing.
He leapt into this actor's body named Scott Bakula. He's like, fuck it, I'm staying.
Makes sense. I instantly, my stomach turned when they mentioned that this is the same universe. And then they had the audacity. Did you just watch the pilot, or did you watch a few episodes?
I only watched the pilot.
So in a couple episodes,
and then I said, you know what show was really great? Voyagers. And then I went and I fucking pulled up Voyagers on YouTube. Seriously, Voyagers was a dope show.
I'm fucking furious. This is as like grossed out that a TV studio has made me in forever.
So just again to get that bow back out.
Yeah. I need it. I'm like fucking real amped up tonight.
Quantum Leap, again, almost universally loved science fiction series that for one reason or another did not have the opportunity to play itself out. Sadly, we lost Dean Stockwell pretty recently, right? A few months ago.
Rest well, sir, yeah.
Something along those lines. I love him originally from Dune. I'm like, oh shit, oh no. But yeah, I loved Quantum Leap like anybody else. Maybe we can even get into like our favorite Quantum Leap episodes, throwback. But when I found out about the reboot, it's not a remake. So the fact that they established pretty quickly, we don't have Scott Bakula now, but he's a possibility. That for me, I was like, okay, cool, because he very well must show up. Now, famously, at this point, he's like, I am not involved in this. I'm not involved in the show.
He's like, they can't afford my new money check.
And truth be told, my way of thinking was, and this is just might be my inherent like part of a duo. You never break us up, Charlie. Don't ever break up with me. I cannot deal with it, bro.
I got you, baby.
Good man.
I'll keep dragging you
through
this
world,
world,
man. But honestly, I thought that it was Dean Stockwell's passing that kind of put the fucking proverbial nail in the coffin of the Quantum Leap chapter. You put nails in coffin in books, right? That's how.
That's a perfect
not a mixed metaphor at all.
Fucking nailed it.
Nice. But yeah, I thought that was the reason why he said, nope, that part of my career is over.
If that's
I'm
true,
moving on.
That's beautiful.
That's just what I presumed.
With that being said,
it almost seemed like they so intentional, like, door's still open, Scott. Come on.
Sure, and I'm not even offended by that. What I am offended by was I wasn't
offended by it. I'm like, okay, cool. That's
I think that's
news.
Great. This is where I got my fucking panties in a bunch, because they got bunched right up there.
Wow.
They got...
Dude, you gotta be wearing thongs, man. That shit don't happen. And no panty line.
True. They immediately basically just redo everything about Quantum Leap, though. First of all, they set it up with like Team Quantum Leap, which is fucking annoying because it's supposed to be two dudes and a fucking supercomputer and a bunch of ancillary characters that you don't give a fuck about, right? So right away, I was like, I get it. You got Winston.
Ancillary? How dare you, sir?
Well, I just love that now Winston's at a stage in his career where he fucking runs everything. Yeah. He runs the Ghostbusters. He runs Quantum Leap. He runs that ass every daily, nightly, and ever so rightly. John, why did this show feel the need to be so unimaginative that they were like, he's lost in time again? If you even wanted to keep the possibility to get my boy Bakula back in this motherfucker, you could still just have Quantum Leap relaunching, and every week he chooses to go in the quantum accelerator. You don't need the tension of maybe we'll lose him. If you die in the past, you're dead. If you fail, you're trapped. You could do that trope. If you don't fucking succeed, you're going to be trapped in 1992. And who the fuck wants to be in 1992?
You've also made a new reality. So you can actually timeline.
Oh my God! How fucking cool is that? You fucking the most minuscule change you could fucking steal from one of the best. Because you and I have talked about it. We don't hate time travel. We hate when time travel is used as not the main story device. I love fucking Back to the Future. I hate when fucking Tony Stark invents it in the third act of a movie. These are two wildly different things. Quantum Leap inherently has every ingredient that I want. It's so fucking. It's so wonderful and so fucking dope. And Quantum Leap is so good, it justifies people like Stan naming his Alexa Ziggy, because the fucking show's hot fire.
You just woke up
in 2 seconds, though, John.
Every fucking Alexa device, including Stan's house, by fucking dropping that.
Alexa, download every episode of USComics Cast.
Like she
John,
hasn't already.
You have already pitched a better version of this show.
Obviously, now, that's what I do.
Because I fucking hate myself. My shrink's good. She's not that good. I watched every available episode. And you know what they do in episode 2? He goes back in time further than his timeline.
Right.
They break a core tenet of Quantum Leap. You can only time travel in your own timeline.
Spoiler alert, but yeah.
Oh, this is the program now allows for some, they don't explain it beyond like they wrote a new program. Go fuck your mother. And I have a solution for that too. You could do this bullshit where if I leapt to 1985 into someone who was born in 65, do it that I can piggyback it. So if I don't come out of the Quantum Leap accelerator, I can now jump back in their timeline. There's ways to write sci-fi interesting and fucking awesome. It's why people fell in love with Quantum Leap. It's why people love science fiction. Because if you care about what you're writing, instead, what we have isn't Quantum Leap. We have NCIS time travel. It is so identical to every bullshit cop show that they've been pumping out. I fucking hate it.
When you were talking about like having the bigger cast, like a core group of characters, I mean that was like the most formulatic aspect of it. At least that's how it read to me. But I think that the show itself was Were you farting?
No.
Just out of curiosity, because it looked like a.
I'm very congested, so I cleared my nostrils. I was like, "Yeah!" I gave myself like a fucking football touchdown pump.
Full transparency: Charlie has given himself a cough button, which is just your welcome, audience. Hearing Charlie clear his throat might be the most heinous thing that you could listen to on a regular basis.
I would argue it's this.
No, that's up there. That is up there. But what? Can you put Ellis's Mark Harmon comment back up? That's just dynamite. I absolutely agree with Ellis. Which one is the one with Mark Harmon and the goth girlfriend? I'd watch that. Sadly, she is no longer part of that fine program. But I agree. I would also watch that one. But the aspect of it that I really liked was them having a relationship. So again, spoiler free. The gentleman that we get, Raymond Lee,
who does fine actor, he's fine.
He's great. He's just fine. He's not supposed to be the one having gone into the Quantum Leap accelerator.
That
it's
I
actually
liked.
his wife and wife or girlfriend. I only watched
fiance.
Okay, half. She's like half both.
She honestly, you pick two options, and it's the fucking middle one, which is the most Rivera shit.
She ends up taking the Al role, right, in the new dynamic. So now she was supposed to be the person jumping all over the fucking place, but it ends up being accidentally her fiance, and then now she's gonna be. And I like that aspect of it. Like, it was more of a lifeline. Look, I don't know if fucking Sam and Al had something going on. I mean, look, more power to them. But I liked that aspect of it, where it's like, it's almost like having an astronaut's spouse in the fucking, in the fucking launch.
I agree. Very interesting.
So some of the changes that they made, quote unquote changes, from the original, I did like, and I didn't mind them having a larger group either, because there were more characters to follow. It actually speaks to a longer run potentially.
Sure.
Other sides, so I didn't really take umbrage.
Sure, but you know what the problem is? I have here the bag of terrible ingredients. Let's go. Oh, amnesia! Amnesia, like we're a bad soap opera. He's traveling through time. He's lost. And also, he can't remember that fine-ass bitch pulling an Al used to fucking tug on his business. Like, get the fuck out of here. How much shit do you need for one show? How is it more complicated than the She-Hulk finale? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, at least it exists in the same reality. So
maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe Joker Stream was fucking abandoning us, really pulling a villain move, just running the fuck
Joker's
away.
Like, you've yelled at me far too much. I am out. Joker, thanks for stopping in, brother. Have a great
he brings up a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, guess what? Scott Bakula, he's Ziggy. Just get the fuck out of here with this, man. This should have been halted to a fucking it should have been stopped the moment that they got to the 15th nonsensical twist. It's 4 episodes deep, John. There's been 100 fucking twists. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I mean, it is. I'm not an apologist for like a show that this reboot, I could, if they stopped making them tomorrow, I would lose 0 sleep, and famously, I don't get any sleep.
That's because you've been drinking 40 gallons of espresso accidentally.
Listen, they wouldn't make it that size if you're not supposed to drink at all, bro. Get with the program.
I'm writing an Amazon review tonight on that espresso maker.
But yeah, I think in all likelihood they wanted to throw as much out there and as many differences as they have similarities to the original source material. That's the danger that you run into when you are following up something that is almost so universally beloved. But I would counter, well, for the muckers, if it was so beloved in its time, they would have finished up. So at some point there was like a drop off or a justification where they said, you know what, we're not going to make any more of these, even though it is largely unfinished. Where we started, we told you we were going to get you. We didn't. Like we stopped.
Horseshit.
We stopped
title
on the
card.
95 fucking on the 5-yard line after a 95-yard run, and we're like, see you when I see you, baby. And that's just like patently uncool. So truly, I hope that we do get a Sam Beckett involvement at some point, but I don't really take any. I didn't
fucking
go in caring all that much.
Offended.
Were you offended because offended. You had a higher expectation than for what you got, or did you sit down saying, okay, what's doing here?
I'll tell you, I went from like, fuck this shit, I don't need a Quantum Leap reboot. Then when they were like, Sam Beckett, I did. I give everything a fucking chance, bro. I fucking, if me and Jess don't work out and some guy wants to buy me dinner, I'm not going to say no to dinner. It's a free meal.
I forgot that I'm talking to the guy that not only watched Ghostbusters 2016, but went to the fucking premiere after having railed about it for no fewer than 6 months consecutive.
You see what happened was
I forgot who I was dealing with.
What happened was I got a new TV, and the TV came with like Paramount Plus or whatever. and they were like, "Do you want to watch Quantum Leap?" And I said, "All right." I'm a shill.
Fuck, where's the remote? Where I can't find it.
The audacity of me to be like, I don't want to watch this thing I'm about to watch, and then it like managed to disappoint me.
And shockingly, it let you down.
I do prefer this show when it ends with like directions. So I want everyone to go check out the original Quantum Leap. Like, check out this new one because I want Winston to get paid, but also as well as throw him in the Quantum Accelerator. That's a charming motherfucker. What's your favorite episode of the OG Quantum Leap?
It's not even fucking close. And this is where I truly, truly out myself as the mezzo-fanuk that I am. At one point, fucking Sam jumps into a production of Man of La Mancha.
Yes!
And we get Scott Bakula singing his absolute best
Just
Impossible
crushing
Dream.
it.
And this was one of those moments where like, a show got its chocolate into my peanut butter, and you can take that however you want, because we're talking about musical theater. Science fiction meets musical theater in just a beautiful, disgusting, kind of confusing, just a mess of an episode. It was dynamite. The cat was naturally the life that he jumped into was the person playing Don Quixote, Cervantes, in Man of La Mancha, if anyone is not familiar. Fuck, man, if Scott Bakula he got the pipes, man. He got the pipes. And I sat there and actually, you know what it was really like? Because you're sitting there and you're watching a sci-fi show, and like if you're not watching it by yourself, there's other sci-fi heads like, oh yes, fucking Quantum Leap, it's great, it's great, it's great. But then it's like, it's like if you went to summer school and the last thing that you learned in summer school is the first thing that they teach you the next school year, you're like, I know this. Like, I felt so superior. I'm like, oh, this musical show, oh, this is from the 60s, blah, blah, blah. I felt so above and beyond the regular peasant sci-fi viewers. It was a good day to be John. When fucking Sam jumps into a production of Man of La Mancha, I was top of the mountain happy. What about you? What was your favorite Quantum Leap?
So, this is a bit of a confession. So I apologize.
More than my outing of myself? Cool.
Well, I don't think, the fact that you didn't name drop, the fact that you, in very recent memory, crushed it as the titular character in Man of La Mancha. Arguably my second favorite. It goes Scott Bakula, John Rivera.
Rightfully so.
One of your favorite musicians was a person that Scott Bakula leapt into. And that, of course, is the king himself, Elvis Presley.
Another musical.
And that episode...
musical episode.
That episode is why I listened to Elvis for the first time. And me liking Elvis isn't based on my brother. Rather, Scott Bakula once again singing and dancing and giving me, frankly, you want to talk about shit that shouldn't help you in life? I went on a few dates with a girl who loved Elvis, and I was able to drop shit from his past exclusively because of Quantum Leap. So I'm not saying that it got down in a 1992 Honda Civic, but it did because of the king, baby, by way of the other king, Scott Bakula. John!
Oh, yeah. Word.
One thing I do appreciate about the new Quantum Leap is that all the commercials are pretty good. It's almost like they too don't sell out like other shows, or in this case, other podcasts for any random brand that's willing to pay. No, because Quantum Leap and USComics Cast is once again brought to you by one of our absolute favorite bands, Bad Mary. You heard them during the intro. You're going to hear them again in just a little bit at the end of the show. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, you can follow them over at Bad Mary Band across all social media media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/badmurray. You can stay up to date at badmurray.com for merch and upcoming performances. But my absolute favorite part, John, is that their entire discography and all their singles are all available on every single music streaming service.
Word up. And that only really leaves the question, where we dropping with Sergeant Finesse Gaming? Find him playing those games on both Trovo and Facebook for now. Multiple streams every day, outstanding video game content, supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. Although a couple of sponsors have gone by the wayside. I literally needed to replace my White Rabbit shaker, so we're gonna have to see about that. But the situation remains the same. When the sergeant's on deck, you salute. Charlie,
Sarge Finesse, baby.
Hit that cough button. Charlie's like, let me get it out. Woof magoof. Look, ultimately at our core, we are a comic book podcast, right?
It's true.
So everything that we end up talking about here always has that singular fount of supply of the goodness. And it's rare, at least nowadays, especially with all of the, comic books see reboots all the time. There have been more fucking number ones than you could shake a stick at for titles like, wasn't this fucking character created like in the mid 60s? How is it still number one? And will it be valuable? Yes, I'll take two. So, that's kind of where we're at, but I'm always on the search for the new. Now, occasionally, something will end up on my radar. I'm like, I got to check this out. Whether it's because of the creators or whether it's because of trusted reviews, somebody who I know that I'm in line with their personal taste. If they liked it, odds are that I'll like it. That's how reviews are supposed to work. Just so we know, it's not because everybody who fucking has a computer tended to agree, and then now all of a sudden they're right. No. Find one person you agree with. Be smart and make it me, but use that person as your fucking resource. Regardless,
probably
of which,
don't use me. Just
definitely
fair
don't
warning.
use Charlie.
I'm gonna take you down some alleys you don't want to be
Woo! Down. But that all being said, something that ended up on my checkout list was a comic called Grimm. Boom Studios, which is a comic book creator that does not get anywhere near enough attention. Boom Studios. They came out with this comic book called Grimm, and I want to say maybe it came out as early as May of this year.
Five months ago.
Definitely this month. Definitely this year. And that is.
I think you're right on the nail on the head. It was May.
Look at that. Look at me. So, for whatever reason, life kind of intruded upon me, and I said. Then there was inevitably a reminder. Hey, John, you wanted to check out this comic Grimm. Probably an article, maybe Comic Book Resources might go to, but Comic Book Movie does some good ones as well. And there's also this kid, Charlie, who I'll occasionally listen to. Charlie Genovese. He's a different guy. But Charlie Rivera, fine. So for whatever reason, I did not get to checking out this comic that I told myself, John, check out this comic. Until months after. At that point, there had already been 4 issues released. So I had the rare opportunity of reading something new to my eyes, but that had a fair amount of volume that I could flip through. And when I say flip, I mean finger through, but that sounds very dirty because I happened to read this digitally. Grimm is a dynamite comic. Charlie, do you have a chance to read it yet?
Do I? I mean, you talked about reviews a second ago. I read every available issue moments before the show started. I was like, I'll read issue 1. That's all I need. And then my head popped off my fucking body.
And it goes so quick. That's one of the things that with comics,
especially great comics tend to.
Not, but here's the thing. That's not something that you hear about very often, especially in comics, because I tend to want to kind of like examine every fucking panel. And just speaking to like the digital option, especially for single issues, it's a particularly good option because you could zoom in. It's like the equivalent of taking a comic, holding it open the way you're never supposed to do, and just mushing it up to your face so you can like see the fucking little
fucking
dots.
panel view. Panel view is such a game changer, and I don't know who came out with it first. I know it was introduced to me by the DC app back when the New 52 was giving away digital copies and then charged $1 extra.
So overpriced. At free, it was overpriced. But just really quickly, just a summation. So Grimm, it's a comic, and when death comes a knockin', it can be any one of various Grim Reapers, or just Reapers they are referred to as. Like, that Reaper is what they fucking put on their tax return under profession. They're like very, very different. The only thing that they have in common would be the fact that they have a black and red kind of color scheme about them, but they all got these huge kind of like energy scythes, which is dynamite because you got to fight off the motherfuckers.
Ah, what a cool fucking visual!
On the river Styx on your way to the afterlife. But in any case, and her name is
on the way down to the afterlife, which has like a really DMV-ish waiting room, which to me was instantly like they went to hell. This is hell.
This is at least my hell. So clearly, this motherfucker must not have lived a very good life.
Like, you fucked up, Aaron.
Our protagonist, she is one of many Reapers. She's just doing her job. But
just reaping away.
Unlike the other Reapers, she doesn't know how she died. Like, she doesn't remember her own death. And
that reveal in issue 1 was instantly like, I was like, I like this book. This book is beautiful. The minute they were like, and I don't know how I died, I was like, ooh.
It's a beautiful book. So just credit where credit's due. Justine Florentino, Abigail Larson, Zu Orzo, Ivan Towle, Janahoy Lindsay, and Veronica Fish. Those are the creative minds that have brought this to you. Guys, this is as strong as a recommendation as you're going to get.
Did you mention the writer? Because this is Stephanie Phillips, right?
Yes. But that all being said, it's just a dynamite comic. It's a dynamite comic. It's an original concept. It's not the type of thing that you've seen a million times. It's a beautiful looking book. The color in particular just is like very, very stand out. It doesn't look like any other comics that are out there right now. And it's like, especially for the... Did I not mention Stephanie Phillips? That should be the first name. All right. So Stephanie Phillips, she's
I didn't mean that as like an attack. You just know my predilection for Stephanie's.
Rico Renzi, Tom Napolitano, Tano. But again, it's just a dynamite comic, original concept. And I can clearly see this is not the case all the time, especially for non-superhero comics. I can see this being adapted.
This reeks
is the type of thing where I can see it being adapted very easily.
And I could see a bidding war for it. I could see any of the streamers, and I could even see traditional television being thirsty for this material. I can't imagine it would be particularly expensive. The real question is, you have to bring on one fucking hell of a cinematographer to try to have such a... You need to make a visual statement if they do adapt this. I know Stephanie Phillips from Harley Quinn. And this wasn't on my radar at all, despite the fact I think Boom Studios is doing the Lord's work. I think they have such a wonderful ability to kind of greenlight the right projects. This screams money property to me in every way. Even if it wasn't about this particular character, Jessica, I think this universe lends itself incredibly well for adaptation.
The other thing that I wanted to say was, and you, Charlie, you touched on it as well, is it was one of those comics that you just kind of like flip through, and then before you know it, it's over. But they're not cheaping out on you. They're not giving you like an 18-page comic. It's like a full 26 pages, what you would expect from a single issue. It just, you want to know, like, what. You're introduced to fucking certain characters that are doing dirty, spoiler free. But you just want to know what's coming next. Yeah. And that's like, to me, that is that's the marker of good storytelling. Like you get someone just like like their chinny chin on their fucking hands, and like tell me more, tell me more. But yeah, Charlie, you're right. Boom Studios, they bring us Berserker, fucking Alice Ever After. They do a Firefly comic, which is just the bee's knees. Vampire Slayer, which is another one kind of in that horror genre, especially nowadays in spooky season.
Yeah.
These are the type of comics that you can get into. But I really kind of wanted to touch on the ability to binge a comic. You know, it's rare. You actually, and it's interesting too because they did announce a collected edition coming early in the new year. So you don't have to do it the way I did and the way likely Charlie did it also by single issuing it. You can wait for the collected edition because it's coming. The bundled edition, the trade paperback as it were, where they'll take the first 5 or 10 issues of something, slap a fucking new cover on it, and sell it to you for probably more than the single issues would have cost.
Yeah, it's like $10 more.
But let me ask you this, Charlie, because I know we kind of ran late on the other stuff. When's the last time that you picked up a comic? First time, like fuck, and you just binged it as much as your little eyes and your butt cheeks falling asleep could take.
Yeah, I'm really kind of sad to say this. This is the first comic in years that that I've been itchy to read the next issue. I would say the last time I felt that way was and it was another Boom Studios when Boom Studio was in the middle of their kind of naughty Tommy, the former Green Ranger story arc in Power Rangers. That story took me by such surprise. Their Ghostbuster book did it. It's been a very heavy decade of Boom Studios. Because I tend to be a single issue reader. When I buy comics, I buy a fat stack.
Yeah, you're a pull list fucking monster.
And I think that's what satiates me. It's like you read a little Ninja Turtle, you read a little Superman, you read about RoboCop, you pick up a few issues of Boom, maybe you try Quantum and Woody again, which they fucking haven't corrected that ship in 20 years. I take a special satisfaction in the reread. So if I'm really loving a story, or if I'm really invested in a character, the reread is sometimes my favorite thing.
So you would say that you're a big rereader? Like that's what you like to do as often as possible?
First of all, I saw you formulate that joke in your mind, and I fucking hate you.
I was petrified that it was gonna just fucking come. Pouring out of me.
The Nightwing comics have been something I've really enjoyed the last few years. But part of my enjoyment is like I haven't gone back to the top. Daredevil, I love Daredevil. I do kind of go to the back to the top of the arc, and when issue 3 comes out in a story, I'll read 1, 2, 3. Issue 4 comes out, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's why.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's where I get a lot of extra joy. But even with something that's been as high quality as Daredevil has been over the last 10 years, Daredevil has been kind of the one comic I know I'm almost always going to enjoy.
10 years is a little stretch. But you're like in love with the character.
I also love but sincerely,
but here's something like new. Like there was nothing invested.
And I think
with
that's
these characters walking into it.
I think that's the difference. Is I would rather get a Daredevil comic in my hand every month, whereas Grimm, I'm at a real crossroad now. And I'm a glutton, so I'm gonna wind up just buying the issues as they come out anyway. Yeah. But my perfect world, I would just be able to collect kind of Grimm in the volume. Give me a full Grimm story, right, and then I'll wait a year. Give me another.
But that's what I do is I especially if it's something that I have kind of discovered if I don't know ahead of time. Like right now, anything if it's just print Saga on it, I'm gonna buy it automatically. Right? But with certain things that are totally new to me, I will buy them digitally, individually, because it's really not much of a financial investment. And if I say, you know what, if they lose me at Grimm 10, I'm like, all right, it's been a good run, kids. However, when they get to that point, we're like, no, I know that I like this. Then I go out. That's when I buy the physical in the collected editions. And the reason why I do that is because, look, space is at a premium, especially when you're a comic book reader like myself, and Charlie is me times fucking 10. You just simply cannot put, you can't put all of that paper, everywhere.
It becomes
your
burdensome.
will be making out of fucking comics. It's crazy.
I mean, I think it speaks to your collecting style. To me, has always been the best model. I've been trying to convert to your style for years and go digital only, but I've romanticized comics so much that having the physical single issues, I wish I could just say, stop it, get the digital, enjoy the digital.
You have an addictive personality.
No,
anyway, so.
What are you talking about? As I nervously shake to get another vodka shot before the hour's up. I just feel like your way of doing it is is truly the best of both worlds, because
that's the case for most things.
Let me ask you this though. We're about to enter the second volume of Grimm.
Yeah.
Kind of in the single issue. You're going to keep buying them digital, right?
Say that one more time.
So Grimm, it's wrapping up it wrapped up its first story.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be starting what's going to clearly
arc.
Their first arc. They're clearly starting what will wind up being their next arc, and thus their next trade paperback, as long as we're lucky.
Nice.
Let's say the second story is a miss for you. Do you finish? Have you now pot committed? No matter what, I'm going to read the second story arc for Grimm. Because clearly this is something you dig. Do you put yourself in that world or that headspace?
Again, I buy my single issues digitally so that I don't have that spatial investment to have to worry about. But
so you'll sit through something bad.
So I don't understand. You lost me.
So right now you dug Grimm, first 5 issues, hot fire. Mm-hmm. You say to yourself, this needs to exist in physical form in my collection.
Right, and I'm they're coming out with one in the new year.
Exactly right. I'm going to get that.
It's an automatic buy for me. I know
it's an automatic buy. So now you start. Grimm issue 6 starts the next arc.
Right.
You don't like it.
Uh-huh.
I imagine you're still addicted enough that you're like, I'm going to buy 7. I'm going to buy issue 7.
No, that's crazy talk.
Oh my God. I really am an addict.
That's an I hate my wallet mentality. The whole point of buying them digitally is so that you have a ripcord you can pull. You're like, nope, trouble. Woo, I'm out. Like,
oh my God, where do you?
It's an exit.
Where do you draw that line? Just not as good, bad, or awful?
The first fucking time that you stand me up for dinner, the first time that you don't text me back, the first cross fucking off color comment that you make amidst my friends. If I don't like it, you are getting fucking Uber fare ride home, and I am not calling you back like, Aziz, I'm sorry. I am that level of fucking committed. That's what you're getting, kid.
I legitimately picked up an ex-girlfriend from high school at the airport yesterday. Like, my fucking...
How is Steve doing? Is he doing... I miss that guy.
That's shocking to me.
Just kidding. I love Steve. I love him.
That is shocking to me, John. That all it takes is one miss.
That's like saying, like, that taste of food was a little fucking sketchy. Anyways, plate is clean.
You've seen my waist size, bro. I clean plates.
Charlie's a professional. Yeah.
So what do? You then just wait. You just wait until you hear like Grimm picked back up. You wait for me to be like, "Do you read 9?" And you're like, "Fuck 9. 7 was terrible." And then I'm like, "No, 9 was hot fire." Do you then read the issues you skipped? Do you just start on 9? How the fuck do you live this life? If I abandon a book, it's hurt me for at least 12 issues.
That you've got a much longer
dick.
Fucking
woo!
Yeah, I don't see it, bro. I just don't see it.
No one does. It's a fictional big dick.
Anyways, I think we have taken this as far as we can possibly go. But yeah, no, the Grimm is a dynamite comic. I don't see the ultimate point is now that we've mashed its face into the ground, I don't see it fucking taking a wrong turn. I love everything they've done with it. I cannot wait to own it physically, having read them now all digitally. I don't think that there's going to be any turnaround to it, but if they do, they're on fucking notice. Mess up one time, son. Mess up one time. I'm out the door. You have lost my loyalty, which is the worst thing to happen ever.
I gotta tell you, I'm shocked, but I'm excited to hear that's 2022. John Rivera is just like, nah, go fuck yourself. Yeah. That's such a Charlie Rivera move.
2022 is going to be the next one I get. I'm like, fuck you, 2022. I am no longer a customer. But Charlie, do us all a favor. Tell the good people how we close each and every episode of the greatest nonsense podcast known to mankind.
Oh, it is oh so simple, dear viewer. First, you got to turn the power on. Then you gotta turn that volume up. Then you gotta tune Bad Marion. Open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Sam, Space Girl. Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Obliterated the thrilling ending Kevin formulated.
Well, yeah, that's what Hulks do. We smash things. Bruce smashes buildings, I smash fourth walls and bad endings. And sometimes Matt Murdock.
Okay, now get back to the show. See you on the big screen.